So we are talking about the movie Kingdom of Gladiators, the tournament, which is also known in the UK as Rise of the Gladiators. This one written and directed by Stefano Miller and stars Solofa Fatu, who you may know as Rikishi from the WWF, or WWE as it's called now, as a wrestler. Now the story here, such as it is, focuses on a kind of tournament of mystical proportions. It's very much like Mortal Kombat, this film, a low budget Mortal Kombat sort of clone. We have this tournament where there's this kind of magical sword up for grabs, which is currently being held by the current champion Rikishi. I'm just going to call him that because I can't pronounce his actual name. Anyway, it focuses on a sort of, a group of various kind of fighters from around the world. We've got Vikings. We've kind of got like tribesmen from Africa. We've got a Crusader Knight who is our main sort of character, among others. And they're basically in this kind of tournament to the death to get this right to this magical sword that will kind of grant them dominion over the others, basically. So what's good about this movie? There are a couple of kind of neat touches. It reminds me a lot of the days of the kind of the late 80s. We used to get all these kind of tournament films like American Samurai and stuff like that. They used to be kind of quite little popular subgenre that we haven't really seen outside of the Mortal Kombat series itself. So it's kind of, if you like those kind of stories with different kind of colourful characters, you may like some of this film. It is on the cheaper side, I'm not going to lie to you, and some of the fight scenes aren't the best, but there are one or two that are okay. And what I did quite like was the slight kind of like change to the rules, so to speak, and the fact that each area has 3 fighters. Now you have one champion and then 2 kind of like lesser warriors. So basically the champion will go against 2 lesser warriors from like another area and stuff like that. So that was a little bit of a change. Could have changed things up a little bit. Now that our kind of point of view character is this kind of this Godwin, this Crusader Knight, who was probably the best actor out the lot, I have to say. And he has some okay kind of sequences, and he basically has this kind of Darth Vader-like knight where he has this kind of like this personal backstory with. That was kind of fun. Let's talk about some of the negatives. This is a really, really cheap movie, and it shows in pretty much every aspect. The acting here is not the best, I won't lie. It's never great, and it goes from kind of meh to pretty bad from places. Rikishi, to be honest with you, I thought this guy had passed away. I was kind of surprised to see him in this film. Don't be fooled also, this is not a Roman gladiator film, despite the English box art here. The acting isn't great. The action, like I said, is a mixed bag. Some of the choreography here is laughable. It almost looks like they're doing it in slow-mo just because they can kind of miss the beats. The set design is kind of very cheap. We have like clearly plastic skulls on the kind of the throne and things like that. And, it just has this kind of cheesy feel. Once we get into the actual tournament itself, it's just really just fight after fight. There's not a lot of story in this. The other weird thing, I guess, it has multiple characters. Even though Godwin is your POV character, you have these kind of other kind of like storylines that have these other characters in, so you don't really feel like you have a central protagonist. And there's this kind of separate sort of storyline with Rikishi and his kind of like lieutenant, I suppose, and I don't know, it's just a bit of a mess. It feels like it's been thrown together sort of fairly kind of quickly, to be honest. It wasn't without its entertainment value. It's got quite a low score on IMDb. I don't think it's that bad. There was actually another movie called Kingdom of the Gladiators. It doesn't really have anything to do with that. I've got to say, even though this was kind of cheap, I still had a little bit of fun with it. To be honest with you, I quite like the kind of the colourful cast of characters and different sort of fighters from around the globe. I thought that was quite fun. Yeah, it's cheap, it's pretty crappy, but nonetheless, I still had a little bit of fun with it. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me comments, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.